Interim report.
Yes. Thanks. Now, Mr. Administrator, based on everything that you know now, and I understand you weren't in office at this time, but based on everything that you know now, if you saw a report like this with the 15373 number on it, that day or the next day, would you have been comfortable with a member of your own family flying on a 737 MAX?
Yes, I would have, but that's because, you know, I understand how the airplane operates, and, you know, I understand how to deal with flight control issues. But on the other hand, there is a, you know, immediate aggressive action was being taken. And again, this is just one aspect of trying to put some rigor around what would otherwise be a very subjective decision.
Do you think it's reasonable to expect that I, who am not a pilot, or one of my constituents who don't know the inner workings of aircraft and how pilots are trained and how they receive warning messages like this, do you think it would have been reasonable for them to feel safe flying on a 737 MAX the day after this information was known to the FAA?
Again, at this point, dealing with what were the driving factors in the accident and in the Lion Air accident, and again, based on the information that was available at the time, the emphasis was on the procedural aspect of accomplishing the runaway stabilizer trim. And so, again, that was the mitigation that was put in place immediately, and then a very aggressive time frame in terms of the software modification.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is people are relying on you to protect them.
Yes.
In an area that they don't know a whole lot about, and a lot of trust is required for them to participate and feel safe about our airline industry. And nothing you just said provides a reason why a person should have felt safe stepping onto a 737 MAX when the FAA was in possession of this information. Let me ask it a slightly different way. There are echoes in this incident of a situation that happened in Western Pennsylvania, where I represent, in 1994, when there was a plane crash in Beaver County. And we have a witness coming in the panel after you, Captain Cox, who's going to say that that incident, which was U.S. Air Flight 427, was a recurrence of a fault that had brought down United Airlines Flight 585 3 years earlier. We did not learn all we could from it, and as a result, 132 people perished near Pittsburgh. He goes on to say, we did not learn all we could from Lion Air 610 before the Ethiopian 302 accident, and as a result, we lost not only all the people in the Lion Air crash whose family and friends are with us here today, but the second wave of people in Ethiopia. And so what I don't understand is, all these years later, all these years after the Pittsburgh crash in 1994, what is being done to make sure that we learn the first time and it doesn't take two crashes for us to fix the problem? What is changing?
It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, that's why we need to make the processes more rigorous and have better analytical tools so that we can drive that risk down and know that the actions that we're taking will have that effect.
Who's being held accountable for the fact that pilots were not told about MCAS and that, in fact, the references to MCAS were removed from the manual? Who is being held accountable for that?
Well, I think that certainly that's part of the process that we're all going through.
So you don't know?
I think we're all being held accountable for it, and we all need to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Okay, I think we have different definitions of being held accountable. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.